The top 10 amazing facts about Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce has an image of wealth, quality, luxury, and craftsmanship which is otherwise unmatched compared to other manufacturers. There is a general belief that they are the best cars that money can be exchanged for. But why? How did the brand gain a reputation fit for royalty? Well, today, you are going to find out. These are the 10 most incredible facts which should hopefully get you up to speed on Rolls Royce. With a rich history, we couldn't hold off our temptation to entertain our viewers with some incredible facts about this evergreen beauty because it truly deserves some limelight. But before that, like and subscribe, and we will look into starting a GoFundMe for you to get one of these cars. And be sure to stay to the end of the video to see the number 1 most amazing fact about Rolls Royce. Here we go. Number 10. There are more Rolls Royces per capita in Hong Kong than anywhere else. That's right. Out of all the places on planet Earth, Hong Kong is home to the largest amount of rollers per head. The tradition dates back to when it was a British colony and all the government officers and businessmen chose them as their opulent mode of transportation. Even after 1997, the desire for the things still hasn't been lost. The Peninsula Hotel, for example, has a fleet of 30 Rolls Royces alone, including a Phantom II from 1934. Number 9. It takes at least 2 months to build a single car. To put this into perspective, most assembly lines and their armies of employees can get a car together in less than 48 hours. Some will even have a car finished in as little as 12 or even less. Rolls-Royce, on the other hand, goes to extreme lengths to ensure that each and every car is worthy of the badge. Every car goes through a plethora of precise quality control inspections to ensure that any mistake, even if it's completely naked to the human eye, is noted and corrected. Some cars, which have bespoke specifications, can take as long as 6 months to complete. Number 8. They have their own Chauffeur Academy. If you're ultra-rich and only require the finest of experience from your driver, then the white glove training program may well be the answer. The sort of things covered include operating doors without leaving fingerprints, to braking without causing the passenger's head to move, yet alone reading the road ahead for the ultimate degree in driving smoothness. Number 7. They only use leather from bulls. Rolls-Royce always strives to ensure perfection, and you wouldn't want to have marks on the upholstery of your 300,000-pound-plus car. Another mind-boggling fact is that the bulls are only sourced from higher altitudes and only in Europe. This minimizes the risk of insect bites showing up in the material. Number 6. The coach lines are painted by one man by hand. If requested by the customer, a set of lines can be painted across the side of the car, known as coach lines. They are painted by a single man who paints them at exactly 3 millimeters thick while using a brush made of horsehairs. It takes up to 3 hours to paint each line, and to make it even more bonkers, individual designs can also be included within those coach lines, should the customer ask for one, which are also done by hand. Number 5. Around 65% of all Rolls Royces ever made are still on the road. The above statement may be surprising to you. Nevertheless, you have to hand it to the dedicated owners who just keep these things going. It's solid proof that the rollers are designed and built to be timeless. The brand has always recognized that customers will hold on to them for decades and pass on to the next generations. The British royal family is still running a fleet that dates back as far as the 1940s. Number 4. They made an engine which lasted in production for 61 years. In 1959, for the Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud II, the aging 6-cylinder engine was dropped in favor of an 8-cylinder unit. In technical terms, it was known as the L-Series V8. It's also important to mention that Rolls-Royce and, in fact, Bentley were under the same roof for a while, so this is where it becomes a little complex. Both brands continued to use the engine until 1998. This was when Rolls-Royce was sold to BMW and Bentley was sold to Volkswagen. Rolls-Royce didn't continue to build the engine, but Bentley did. And they did so until only very recently, when the last of the flagship Mulsannes rolled off the production line. In its newest form, it churned out 530 horsepower and 811 pound-feet of torque. This is a standing testament of how long an engine can last when you build it properly. Number 3. The Indian Maharajas used them for immense purposes. The Indian royalty took a particular liking to the Rolls Royce brand, so much so they were repeatedly bought for their exquisite quality and often tailored for some truly bonkers requirements. For instance, the Maharaja of Patiala, Bhupinder Singh, was mocked by a salesman for supposedly not being able to afford their cars. He became so infuriated, he proceeded to buy all of the stock and modify them to be used as garbage trucks. Singh pretty much humiliated the company, and that salesman was subsequently sacked. Other crazy things included a car shaped like a swan, which was owned by the Maharaja of Nabha, and some were modified to take part in hunts. This included mounting points for rifles, which were used to kill elephants and tigers in the deep wilderness. Number 2. For a while, the brand only sold customers the engine and chassis. Like a lot of car brands of the time, Rolls Royce only manufactured the engine and chassis of their cars. This was the case from 1907 all the way up until 1958, except the Silver Dawn from 1949, which was sold with a factory body fitted. It was then down to the customer to decide which company would build a body and interior for him or her. These companies were called coach builders. There were numerous coach builders that could construct bodies for Rolls Royces, and because each one was bespoke, customers would often request some truly beautiful designs from brands like Gurney Nutting, Park Ward, and James Young. And number 1, the reliability of the Silver Ghost earned them their impeccable reputation. In 1907, the managing and commercial director, Claude Johnson, decided it would be a good idea to prove the new Silver Ghost's reliability by embarking on an incredible test, the Scottish Reliability Trails. It sounds dull, but it's really quite amazing. The trail itself lasted 750 miles and was already ridiculously challenging for every other car of the time. With members of the press aboard the car, Johnson piloted away and blitzed the 750-mile mark, but he didn't stop there. After the test was concluded and passed with flying colors, he continued to run the car until it reached over 15,000 miles over the course of 2 weeks. This sort of feat was impossible for any other car of the time, thus demonstrating just how well engineered the car really was. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to The Daily Hit for more videos. See you on the next video.